So you're thinking about a bear hunting trip. This DVD is designed to give you the information you're going to need to have a fun and enjoyable hunting trip. Now should be the time when you're talking with potential hunting partners to figure out things like group size, what type of hunting you guys are looking at. Once you figure out your approximate dates, within a couple weeks, then you can give us a call and we can talk to you as far as availability. Additional information regarding bear hunting seasons as well as the price of permits can be found on the Ministry of Natural Resources website. The website is www.mnr.gov.on.ca. One important but often overlooked aspect of crossing the border for hunting season is gun registration. Each hunter planning to use firearms during the hunt must register his own firearms. In 2004, the cost of gun registration was $50, and the $50 fee was good for up to 3 rifles, or 2 rifles in one shotgun, or basically 3 long guns. The registration was good for 60 days. For more information and current information, visit our website at AirIvanhoe.com. We've also got a link that you can fill out in a form for advanced declaration, which will save you about 20 minutes at the border. Another often overlooked problem for guests coming across the border is past criminal convictions. Probably the most frequent problem for guests is previous DUI convictions. In Canada, a DUI conviction is treated as a felony. If the customs agent at the border asks you if you've ever been arrested and you tell them that you have, they're going to bring you into the customs office. While you're in the customs office, several things might happen. 1. They may admit you into Canada on a one-time basis and make you pay a fee, which will be good for the duration of your trip. Or 2, they may simply deny you entrance into Canada and turn you around. We've had many groups come up, drive 8-10 hours to the border, and get turned around. And so the best way to deal with this is to check ahead of time and get a pardon before you come into Canada. A pardon through the office of the consulate is good for a lifetime. If you're planning a trip to Canada and do have a previous criminal conviction, it's best to go through the consulate office and get a full pardon if you can. It takes 3 to 4 weeks, so if you've got a trip in the fall planned, I would start the process early in, say, June or early July, and try to get it taken care of well in advance of your trip. More information regarding the consulate office and a link to their website can be found on the Air Ivanhoe website. So the bear ended up walking into this brush patch that you see on the left-hand side of the screen right now. I stuck up on him within about 8 yards, 10 yards, and then he ran a couple. Unfortunately, Graham never got the kill shot. Here's a couple aerial photos of the area. Like I was saying before, 30 to 40% of this area has been harvested within the last 10 years, so a lot of it's new growth forest. New growth forest allows for a mass of blueberries and raspberries, which means that the bears in here have an excellent food source. Most of this area is road accessible forests. However, the area does hold some huge reserves, which are great for holding and creating big bears. It's also bordered by some very large, uncut, uncharted, undrivable reserves, and those big bears do wander. So now we're into the area where I shot my bear in 2004, and also where Greg shot his bear in 2003. It was kind of funny how it all worked out. On Greg's hunt versus my hunt, the truck was about a kilometer apart, and we shot our bears about a kilometer apart, but the truck was parked on the same road, and the bears were just on opposite sides of the road. So both my bear and Greg's bear were shot very close to the bait site, so it's very likely that both of these bears would have made their way up to the bait in the evening had we been more patient. But that's okay, we got our bears, and that was all that mattered. And now that I've shown you a couple aerial photographs of the area, I'm going to bring you back to my 2004 bear hunt with Graham.
Okay, Graham, perfect game plan. Best part of this hunt is going to be, well, eating them, but other than that, picture time. You know, I think I'm gonna have a rough time working this guy because he's such a big bear. He's a heavy one, man. He's a heavy one.
Okay.
Well, your game plan worked perfectly, Graham. It was it couldn't have been any better. I came up through this brush, just kind of looking for him, and by the time I found him, he was only about 10 yards away from me. He bolted about 5 yards, 5 feet, I should say. Stopped, turned around, looked at me. All I had was a headshot, so I took it, and it worked out. It worked out perfectly. So, thank you, Graham. It's
Okay, wait, I want
it
to
was
take
really
one out.
awesome. Really awesome to come in and get this big bear. I think we're gonna have fun when we measure this guy between the ears. This has got a monstrous head. This bear. Thought it was a moose there for a minute when I was looking at it.
Okay.
So while I've got you as a captive audience, I'd like to talk about the importance of bringing up a rifle, even if you're planning on archery hunting. Bringing up a rifle will greatly increase your opportunities of bagging a bear, especially in a case like this where you're driving, you're on your way to a bait stand, and you just so happen to see a 400-pound Bruin cruising out in the berry patch.
So what do you think this bear weighs there, Graham? When you're looking at this guy?
He'll go 350, 375, I think.
Look at the size of this head. I
The
don't know.
head
I don't know if
has
I've
to
ever.
be 11 and a half inches between the ears.
He's a good one, eh?
Yeah, he's a nice bear.
You know, this is just about the size of the bear that Greg shot off this same berry patch last year, but I don't think that this is the rival bear. The rival bear was well, it must have been bigger because
It was.
beat the shit out of Greg's
It
bear.
was bigger.
Yeah.
We haven't seen him yet, but hopefully this weekend we'll get him.
See, here's the end
Entry.
and
I
the
don't
out. I don't know if it came out.
I don't think it has an exit.
I don't think
It
so
would have
either.
been down in the neck.
Unless
more
this
than
is it
likely.
up here.
Is the
I don't
skull
see it.
broken?
I don't think so.
So it probably stayed in there.
Went in, just like so.
Entry. Killed him dead, stone dead.
You know, look at the size of this head,
yeah.
Graham.
It's massive.
It's like
Massive.
huge, huge.
Like,
Let's check out these paws. That's what I'm interested in. Now, what would you do? What would you do with a bear like this? What would you suggest the guys do? Full body mount, or head mount, or rug, or
a rug would be good out of this one here. Or if it was your first time bear, it would be a nice full mount. A half mount is beautiful. A half mount.
you know, that's what Greg did with his bear last year.
mount.
I'm still waiting to see it, but I'm sure
Yeah,
it'll be
they're-
beautiful.
Half mounts are really nice.
I'm just looking at the size of this guy's feet here. He's got he's got some size to him.
Yeah.
How old do you think this bear is, Graham?
Probably about 6 years old.
Well, that's it, eh?
Yeah, 6.
See, I was under the impression these bears were growing really, really slowly up here. You're just saying you think it's older because of the food it's eating up here, or?
It's they have a lot to eat up here in the last 5 years, 4 or 5 years. Blueberries been plenty.
Plentiful, definitely.
That's right. But beautiful coat,
Shiny.
yeah. Bluish black, jet black, whatever you want to call it. Beautiful, beautiful. No white mark, no.
Very little, no.
Beautiful bear.
Now, I was going to leave my gun back at the truck, but yeah, you recommended that I bring it in case I see some wolves. Are there a handful of wolves around the area here?
We
or
have quite a few wolves around.
you have them hit the baits every once in a while? Or?
Yeah, they hit the baits quite often. They do.
How can you tell?
see, well, their prints are all over. They dig up a lot of dirt around your baits.
Let me take a picture here with my bear and the guide. Ready?
Yeah, that's a nice bear.
I would have to agree.
Beautiful bear.
Huge. I just still can't believe, I can't get over the size of this guy's head. Like, let's just compare it to, let's say my rifle scope here. This is a 3x9x40 rifle scope.
Which is 13 inches long.
And it's about an inch shy on either side. So 11 inches. 11 inches. 30-06. You know, I've been getting lucky for distance on these bears that I've been taking.
Now,
As far as
that is beautiful bear. It's a nice bear.
as far as short distances. You know, I was really glad that you talked to me beforehand. I had a shot on this bear about 150 yards away when it was sitting in the brush, and I said, you know, I talked to Graham, I talked to you about it, and I was thinking that I could get a little closer, get in 60, 70 yards, real comfortable distance to shoot from a rifle. 150 yards is doable, but you know, I didn't have a rest, I didn't have what I really wanted, so I waited, and it paid off, you know.
That's right.
I got in, I shot this guy at about 12 yards away. and it was
Well,
just
you had
lucky
good
that,
wind. You had good wind. You
Yeah.
caught in the crosswind, but
Well, you know what I think really saved me
you were
was
down low enough.
well, yeah, and you know, your plan worked perfectly. It was exactly what you had called for, as far as running up on the ridge and then coming around in on the backside down the gully. I didn't see him. I started walking through the bush a little bit, and I said, you know, I'm never going to be able to sneak up on this bear from, like, if I'm being noisy like this. And so I came back a little bit, came back out into this brush out here, and actually startled this guy. He ran about 5 feet. He turned around and he's looking at me and couldn't figure out exactly what I was.
Well, he couldn't win you, so you know.
He couldn't smell me.
He
That
had
was,
nothing.
that was the big part.
That's
of it.
right. He had nothing to
Couldn't
be
smell
frightened
me.
about.
But all in all, I'm extremely happy. I owe you big time, Graham. Thank you. And as for my hat I put actually up in a tree here just so we could mark our spot. Always a good idea, if you can, to mark your hunting spot, or mark where you shot your animal with a brightly colored garment, and then you can find your spot back quickly. Now the tricky part, or I guess the fun part, is going to be getting this guy out, right? The funnest part of the hunt, right, Graham?
That's right.
Okay. Well, we've usually got a four-wheeler with us, but today I'm going to have to quarter this guy up. So I'm going to need somewhere nice to put him. Maybe right here, nice flat area. I can lay him down, back legs this way, front legs this way, open him up, and then quarter him out here. You want to give me a hand trying to lift this guy up one over the log?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
Let me move some of this stuff, and maybe before I start doing this, do you want to hit one more picture with me, or a couple more? I'm just really thrilled
Did you
with the size
rewind
of
it?
this bear. Yeah, it's ready to go.
Well, I gotta flash it up.
Oh. How about my gun? Can you pass me my gun there for a second? It's not loaded. And I brought the gun just in case I saw some wolves when I was out here. When I was looking for these, or when I was doing up this bear, I brought my gun just in case. But I'm thrilled. This is the biggest bear that I've ever shot, definitely. And I think I saw one in the same berry patch yesterday that was even bigger. So I think we're gonna have a good hunt this year. We got what, 7 out of the 8 baits after day 1 get hit.
Yeah.
6 out of the 8 day 1.
6 out of
and
the
then,
8.
Today we're just coming in on our 3rd bait, and bear out in the berry patch. So I'm thrilled, man. Okay, give me a hand. We'll throw this guy over, and then I'll start gunning him up.
So we'll go with his hind legs first,
Sure.
and then it's easier. We can get a good grip on the front end.
Agreed. I'm gonna put this on interval record here, Graham.
Also, we'll do it every couple like we did last year.
Yeah, so it'll do it. It'll take a shot every 30 seconds, something like that.
Since the time of making this video, the M&R's announced that there's going to be a closed season for wolves during part of the bear hunt. If you're truly content on having the opportunity to harvest a wolf while you're up bear hunting with us, check our website. Also check the M&R website, and that'll give you an idea regarding wolf hunting season. So a little bit more about the bear hunt. If you haven't noticed, I'm wearing a shortened t-shirt, so it's about 85 degrees out right now. So it was essential that I gut this bear immediately after harvesting him to make sure that the meat didn't spoil. And so what I did was, I had a nice sharp knife, I opened up the body cavity, I pulled out the guts. While I was working on this bear, I used the fur as a working blanket for myself. So I opened up the fur and I did all my carving right on top of that. And basically the idea was to try to keep all of the dirt and all of the sand off the meat. And now we're going to go back to the bear hunt for just a minute.
Okay, before I go any farther, I'm just going to kind of explain what I've done. I've got a nice sharp knife with a gut hook. That gut hook has been really essential in helping me out. Now, what I've done here is I've got the bear pretty well skinned out, and what I'm going to do is cut off the legs at the feet, and then I'm going to take the hide out in one trip. I'm going to cut the bear in half, right in the hip area, actually, right about right here, so that I've got the hindquarters in one shot, and then I'm going to take the ribs and the top half in the other shot, and I'm going to walk 3 pieces out of the bush, Hide's gonna be maybe even the heaviest here. So that's my next step. That's where I'm at. I've been into it about an hour and a half, and really a sharp knife is essential, and this gut hook on this knife is really saving me from cutting through the skin. So I would definitely suggest that when you're doing this, you have a nice sharp knife. Gut hook is essential. I used an axe to cut through the pelvic bone right here to pull out the asshole lining, and I'm going to finish this up hopefully here within about half an hour and start walking them out.
Well, the plan worked perfectly. I got him carved up into 3 pieces. I got him out to the road. It was about 300 yards for a walk. My back hurt a little bit the next day, but oh well, such is life. Well, that was the end of my 2004 bear hunt. A couple pictures from after the hunt and during the hunt, and now we're on to Shane's 2003 bear hunt.
This tree right there, and that's Graham, our guide, right here. He's taking off now. This bait's been hitting every night, so we should get some action. Hopefully we didn't get out here too late though and scare him away.
Well, the boys got lucky. Graham dropped him off about 4:30 in the afternoon. A small bear showed up about 6:30 in the evening. It wasn't the same bear as the one that Graham had been seeing, but it was about 200 pounds. The one that Graham had been looking at that had been coming in, and he could tell what size it was approximately because he could see the pad prints in the sand was 350, 400 pounds, and that was the one Graham was expecting to come in. Shane and Eric were up there, and they had about 175, 200-pound bear come into the stand, and they were happy with it. But this bear here seems to be looking like he understands that there's a bigger bear in the area. He might have been scared off the bait. What he's doing, this sort of like go up to the bait and then sniff it and then run away, is very typical of a smaller bear when he knows that there's a bigger bear in the area. So he seems to be playing right into what Graham had been thinking, as far as that there was a bigger bear hitting this bait, and this smaller one had just happened to walk through the area. Now, not a bad-sized bear for Shane and Eric, about 175. This was Shane's first bear, so he was happy with it, and he got it just in time. The bear was just about to go down into the crevice, and he would have lost his shot, so he took it right on time. That's Shane's shot. Eric's a little bit unsturdy on the camera here. He's just about as nervous as Shane, but he's having a good time. They're both having a good time.
That's why I stripped my head at you to make sure I could had enough on tape. I'm still shaking.
No, I was a little shaky too, but it's good footage. It's all good footage. The last little gasp there, you got him. The big bear killer, yeah.
A very big bear.
Huh?
Climbed the fucking tree.
Was he climbing up my tree?
He put his paws all up, looked straight up at you.
Oh, dude, I felt him kind of push on it, and I was like, shit.
Hey, did you see him at all come in?
No, I heard him stepping back there, and I looked up at you, and I saw you gave me the nod like that was him. I got fucking 1,000 mosquitoes on my hands.
Yeah. Climbed up and looked at there was no way I could have shot him.
Right. Well, if you would have started climbing around that tree, you better shot his ass.
There we go. Yeah.
We forgot to measure the bear on tape that night, but he was about 200 pounds, 6 inches between the ears, probably 4 inches across the paw.
It was pretty good.
There are mosquitoes that could pick you up and carry you away in there. Alright, let's get him on.
On the inside,
7 inside the ears. Equal knife. 4.5 across the paw. You got that, Joe?
yeah. What about top to bottom on the paw?
Top to bottom. Well, he's got rigor
Front row seat?
Yeah, I got no view from there. Go to the other paw there. Do the other paw. That one there's doing good. Yeah.
Different bear?
Yeah.
The tail of the one that
6.5.
got away.
Hey?
The tail of the one that got away.
That sounds like a bull.
I can make that bear up be as big as I want.
I got one.
5 inches across. Got that?
Yeah.